All right, so I wanted to make this quick video in reference to something that was mentioned in the 6-hour video about that word neonate. I went on a tangent about that word because I got pretty excited about it because I saw the word neon in neonate, and as some of you may know, neon is a gas that glows, and as far as I'm concerned, and I'll talk more about it later. Uh, Children have more of a glow than adults. The younger we are, the more amplified our glow is, and the glow is real. It's been documented. There's anecdotal evidence, but also more mainstream evidence that we all have a glow. We all clearly have a glow among the invisible spectrum of light. That's why when you put on infrared glasses and you look at another person, you see them glow, and that's because of the infrared, light spectrum of light. But we also glow among the visible spectrum as well. Infrared, ultraviolet, that's invisible, but there's also the visible spectrum. But excuse me, that glow is very dim among the visible spectrum. But there are stories, there are cases that say that there were times when the glow became very visible. You tend to find these stories in an era where there was less political correctness and less censorship. Okay, and some people think back in the day people all had wild stories and different accounts from back in the day aren't that trustworthy. Well, there are some opposite opinions on that. Turns out the people back then were actually very smart, and if you look, they had excellent handwriting. And you look at the way that they built buildings and stuff, they were extremely intelligent people. And so, where you may have some people who take the stories lightly of, our ancestors from 100, 200 years ago, you got people like myself who take their stories more seriously because I believe they were very intelligent. In fact, that's why I reference the book Nourishing Traditions. It turns out those nourishing traditions produced people, those ancient patterns of eating, it produced people who had zero cavities, zero cancer, zero diabetes, zero high blood pressure, zero issues that people have today. But yet today, we consider ourselves so smart. But those who are following ancient diets, these people lived longer. And don't get it twisted. You hear in school that back then the lifespans were short. I'm telling you, that's misinformation. And we can share the data later at some other point, but it's not a high priority. My priority is more on growth. But if you go along some of these roads that I'm sharing with you, such as Nourishing Traditions, like if you get the book yourself and then you read through it, it will take you along paths where you can discover that for yourself. You can find data that will show you that back then people were a whole lot healthier than we've been led to believe, and it shows that they had wisdom. And so when I read stories of people who lived, who people who live 100, 200 years ago, and they're talking about people that they witnessed who were glowing. They may have had a wound, or were in a hospital, or they were sick, and the body part that was compromised, the body part that had undergone trauma, the body part that was ill, the body part that was ailing, that body part began to glow, and sometimes the glow was so bright that it lit up a room. You see, I think those people were very, very smart. And so I take what they say more seriously, okay, than a lot of people who call themselves educated uh, might take them. And it's sad. There are a lot of educated people who think the way I do, but they don't get a lot of press. They get suppressed, okay? But there are remarkable stories that have been taken for granted and that have been suppressed, that have been hidden, brushed under the rug. So anyway, among those stories are stories of people whose bodies emitted light. Sometimes the light was bright enough to light up a room at night. I believe these stories have credence and should be looked into. And I don't believe it's spooky, or it has anything to do with spiritism or the metaphysical or anything like that. I just think it's our biology, an aspect of our biology that hasn't been tapped into. Similar to people like when Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile. Everyone thought it was impossible until Roger Bannister did it in front of everybody's face. And once he did it, everybody started doing it. See, that was an aspect of biology that, people thought was impossible. And so there are other things that are in human biology that, might blow your mind. One of these things is that light does emit from us, and that light can be amplified. And when that light is amplified, what we can do with our bodies is enhanced. The healing mechanism is enhanced. Our recuperation is enhanced. Our regeneration is enhanced. And the messages that we give our bodies are more, our body responds at a heightened level. So if we're giving our body signals to grow, if we're saying, hey body, I want to grow, the body responds better. So if we have the ability to glow, and we want to grow, it's in our best interest to enhance our glow. And that's even more important the older we get. See, the glow may not be something that's that interesting to you, but it ought to be interesting to me because I'm older. And so I want my body to operate like a young person who is full of life. And what have I learned? Based on my knowledge, young bodies are full of light. The younger, the purer. The more pure the body, the younger the body, the more light it emits. Okay? So I want my body to return to that. And if possible, even outshine it. Even outshine what's normal for a youngster. That's what I want for myself. Okay? And so I just keep learning and learning. So to address what you see on the screen right here, I saw the word neonate, and I thought, oh, I see the word neon and neonate. Neon is a gas that glows. So maybe the ancient etymology is telling us that babies have a glow. Well, I looked into it and I was a bit disappointed because it turns out that the term neonate was actually adopted in 1898. Not neonate, I'm sorry. Neon. the term neon was adopted in 1898. That's when it was discovered. And so, yeah, that kind of, blew, burst my bubble there. And, but that's okay. And who knows what I may discover if I keep digging, but so far it's like, bummer. But yeah, it's like I've said before, I'm not in love with my own thoughts. And in the video, if I remember correctly, I said I might be wrong, but it was just a thought. But yeah, so that's that. But what was interesting, nonetheless, I was able to salvage some poetry from this. And that poetry is that the name was suggested by Ramsey's son. Okay. And I looked into it, and turns out when it comes to how old Ramsey's son was when he came up with that name, 13 years old. That's the age where we're entering that growth spurt season, if you're a dude. And so, hey, I tried to salvage some poetry from it, some rhyme from it, okay? So, that's all I was able to get, okay? The buck stops there, okay? At least someone entering their growth spurt came up with the name Neon. And technically they didn't say neon. They said another word from a different language that also meant new. But the daddy said, we're going to say neon because it matched the other gases that we found. So, yeah. Wasn't the best finding, but hey, that's why we look. That's why we look. But at the end of the day, we still glow. Can't change that. And why don't you do some research into it? If this seems unbelievable to you, if you're taken aback by this, I'm over here talking about you can be old and gray and can grow a new set of teeth, and now I'm saying you can glow. People already thought I was off the rocker for saying, you can grow tall as an adult and you can grow longer bones as an adult. Now I'm saying you can grow a new set of teeth, you can grow your arms back, and you can glow in the dark. It just get crazier and crazier and crazy. That's okay. That's okay. It's life. I'm speaking realities. Okay? speaking realities. And you can look them up. You can dig. And you can find the same thing I'm finding. Okay? If you're brave enough. If you're brave enough. But anyway, that's that for this video. Just wanted to make that clarification. And hope you're having a good old time watching that 6-hour video. A lot of good information in there. Make sure you don't miss out. I have it uploaded for now. I'm not saying I'll take it down, but don't sleep on it. Get your sleep now. Get your sleep. But don't sleep on this information. Don't sleep on it.